Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Psicast. I'm your host, Robert Marcy. I'm joined here with Bill Montana.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. So what's the news? What do we got?
Yeah, we got all kinds of news this week. I got the tumblebugs in. They're a little bigger than the early ones that I had, but they're still pretty cool. They're about 1.5 inches or so. I talked about that a couple weeks ago. Actually, all made out of painted wood. Pretty nice, actually.
Oh.
Kind of fun. Just a little oddball item that should be checking out. And see, what do we got? You got Doc of P3 on Friday, this coming Friday. The 28th, I think. I'm doing the Mystery Man show or the Mystery Theater show or something at Penguin in Columbus, Ohio. It's going to be on 28th. I have no idea when it starts or anything else. But, Doc Hilford will be doing his live act. So I think he's got somebody else with him, but it should be a good time if you can make it out.
Nice. I mean, that should be interesting.
Yeah, you had something, too, you wanted to get into, didn't you?
Well, that was actually what I was going to get into, is the Doc thing. But also, if those of you who are interested, right now I have a promotion. I am going to be taking off my hands-off dictionary test off the market, and I'm running a special. It's not going to be available for a long time. I can guarantee you that, because I don't want it out much longer. There's enough people have bought, but I'm putting out a sale again for $100. You get $249 worth of cool stuff. So you're going to be getting the full hands-off dictionary test audio program, which basically teaches you how to do it. You also receive the cartomancy program, and with that, as two bonuses. One is my book, Get Gigs Right Now, so it can help you get some, start booking some gigs. And the other one is the hidden venues that we recorded, which is a Psicast special. So either way, I mean, if you donate at least $20, then you get it. You get it from us. But
that's for hidden venues. That's for hidden venues.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's also been included with Robert's package because he's trying to raise some money for an event he's got to do.
Right. So, so I figure I'd put it out for you guys. The special will run until actually, I just released it Friday, and I put it out for 2 weeks. So not this coming Friday, but the following Friday is when the special will end. So if you want to grab all of that, it's only $100, and you can PayPal me at astrologic, ACAAN, @gmail.com.
Yeah, do you want to tell them a little bit about what the dictionary test, the effect of the dictionary test is?
So the dictionary test, if you go to YouTube, you'll hear me do this on radio. I've done this on live radio. But essentially what it is that you take a dictionary, you circle a word, and then you package it up, and you send it to a radio host, or if you're doing an event, to the CEO or whoever booked you, to hold on to it. All right? And this could be, months in advance. You got it. And then when you go to the show, you before they open up the package, you have them just, think of and name out loud any word in the English language that could be found in the dictionary.
And this is while you're on air. This question is asked while you're on air.
Right. And
before they open the package, it's in their hands.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so they name a word. They're free choice. No forces. No funny things. It's a totally free choice. And then when they open it, and then you tell them you've been holding on to that package, they open up the package, they open up the dictionary, and it's the only word that's circled in the dictionary. All right? No gimmicks, no electronics, no stooges, pre-show, none of that. I mean, it's as cold as you can get. It's devious, and that's why I want to take it off the market, because I told a couple of copies out to people who've waited for this, and to some, and I don't want it really out there. So
yeah, let me just do a quick disclaimer. It's not pre-show; it's a Vansive show, and it's a completely new concept for most people that we're not even going to get into.
Exactly. Exactly. It's a totally new concept. It's never been discovered. Well, until now, I discovered it, and it's really it'll knock your socks off.
Yeah, and it's gonna take some trial and error to get it to function properly, but because it's a presentation thing.
Right, but once you got it, I mean, you've got something that can be done, test conditions. I fooled a lot of people. I've been offered, good money. This was at the time when I didn't teach it. It was completely I didn't tell anybody how it worked. Only my girlfriend knew, who's also a mentalist, and she knew how it worked, and we kept it to ourselves. But I had some top pros offer me good money to teach it to them, and I refused. All right, I'm not going to say who, but there's been some top pros who saw me do it or heard me do it, and they offered me some good money because it just sounded too good to be true. So.
Well, no, I mean, it does work.
It does work.
It does work. It's not for the beginner mentalist.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even really for the guy that's even kind of moderate into mentalism.
Yeah, or even a dabbler. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not them.
Dabblers, stay away.
Yeah, but you're just not going to understand what the advanced concepts we're throwing down.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And if you do everything right, you will never be caught, no matter how much.
There's nothing to catch.
Yeah, exactly. So, so definitely check it out. Like I said, I posted on the cafe about it, but right now it's $100 for the whole package. You're getting 4 items with it. Normally, by itself, it only sells for $150. But I decided to take it off the market as of.
I still think $150 is too cheap.
Yeah, exactly. I was told that I should charge more for it, but I wanted it to not make it too expensive, but I didn't want to make it cheap either because I didn't want everybody getting it.
Yeah, and if you do it right, it works.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like a learning curve like you had with my bridge, but, if you do it right, it works fine.
Exactly. I mean, the radio performance the radio performance is proof of that.
Well, yeah, the radio performance is actually quite good because it's this perfect venue for this type of an effect.
Exactly.
I mean, this thing's almost designed for that kind of environment, but that kind of environment a lot of guys don't understand, so. And we covered a lot of that on the program, but, pretty much, what would we say? Fairly advanced mentalist, yeah.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
You're going to want to know more than the average bear when it comes to mentalism to be able to follow along. Right.
Yeah, I mean, if you hear the radio host and the reactions in the studio, it's unbelievable. And not only that, but I did it about 2,000 miles away.
Mhm.
No one has to be there. You send you mail the package, and that's it.
No, once you mail the package, you're done. You're committed.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's done.
And the only problem you're going to run into is right there. If you didn't do your setup right, you're screwed.
Mhm.
If you did the setup correctly and you used the correct methods that we teach, you're good. It's a cool effect. It really is.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell anybody else anything about it, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus, you get some bonus stuff in there that's pretty cool.
Mhm. Right, and
I think they get cartomancy too, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, so that's a good reading system for the more psychically oriented because you got additional input from me and Mystic Alexandre.
Uh-huh. Exactly. So, there's some value there, too. Also, I just wanted to make a note that if you get the package for the dictionary test, you also receive the follow-up teleconferencing call where owners of the effect called in, and then they asked questions, and I answered them for them.
Yeah, so you get, several hours of audio explaining everything. So the explanations on both of those programs, even on the cartomancy, is pretty well explained.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, so what I found interesting about, the cartomancy thing is my system cartomancy, your system, and Alexander's systems are completely different.
Exactly.
Which is nice.
Exactly.
I mean, if you're into that, playing reading, fortune telling with playing cards, basically, doing readings based on playing cards, there's a lot of information in that cartomancy program.
Oh, for sure.
And we're not teaching you one system; we're teaching you actually several at the same time. It's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least the adaptations, primarily your system, but then we gave you some adaptations on the system as a whole.
Uh-huh.
We have some subtleties that we use when we do this kind of stuff. Ooh.
Right.
Let me get out of the rain. It's coming down like a motherfucker. Oh. All of a sudden, too. Bam! You're wet. Okay. Wait. Yeah, it was a good program. We just released the. Now, okay. First off, where can they get it?
Well, yeah, like I said, if they PayPal me $100 even to...
Well, just give me your email address and have me email you, and you can send them PayPal information.
Yeah. It's Astro, A-S-T-R-O, Logic, L-O-G-I-C, and then A-C-A-A-N, like any card, any number, at gmail.com.
Okay, so get a hold of Robert, and you'll get a hold of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, we just released, this month's been kind of slow for us. Well, slow in releasing product end, but busy in other aspects. We released the Mystic X. Advanced, what was the last one we did? Additional ideas for Mystic workers. It was about 2 hours. The Mystic X, 5 hours. The recordings, actually 2 recordings, 5 hours.
Uh-huh.
We have a casting bone set out, unique casting bone sets. Those are out on the market now. And I've been building showcases all week, so,
Right.
Get my new booth proper. Getting that bad boy up and running again.
Yeah. Tell them about the casting stones.
Yeah, they're great. They're made by TC. She's a lady that goes out in the woods, deep woods. I mean, like some of these hikes are pretty long. And finds animal carcasses that have, passed on. Like she's got a groundhog and a fox. That's 2 of the bone sets. And just take them back. She'll put them in her decomp tank and decompose them, and then take the bones off and make stuff out of the bones.
Nice.
All the animals are naturally found, so it's pretty cool.
Right on.
Pretty cool. But there, you got jaw bones in some of the sets, but there were some regular leg bones and femurs and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But there's some, nice looking bone sets, and it'd be a primitive tribal carving, basically dots and dashes. One of them has a triangle and stuff like that. But it's very, very believable as what they are because they're real bone.
Mhm.
And not only are they real bone, they've been carved. I don't know if you guys have ever tried to carve bone, but it stinks. Bad. It's not even pleasant. It's really pretty rough.
Really?
Mhm. It's quite unpleasant. But they're great looking sets. Some of the bones are 4 inches in the set. Other ones are a little smaller. But picture on my Facebook page. Just find that, and you'll find the casting bone sets. You'll find A whole lot of products, too. We got about 300. What do we got, about 350, 400 hours of audio now?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. It's nuts.
Yeah, and then we got, plus this, I'm not even counting the Psicast in that. Psicast is up.
I believe that. I think we got the most video in any, out there than any.
Well, most audio, yeah. Most audio, definitely.
Yeah.
Because I think the leading guy I can think of put up maybe 50 or 60 hours of audio. But I think I got more audio than Martin Breeze even put out combined. So it's pretty massive. And, learning things like cartomancy or learning stuff from me on audio, like listening to Psicast, learning some stuff, is actually a faster way to learn it.
Exactly.
Because you can learn it while you're doing something else.
Uh-huh.
Which is nice because time. How much time do we have to sit around and actually learn something new? I can learn something new while I'm building something, right? You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But I can listen to it a couple times and learn it, really well. But I don't have time to sit down and watch a DVD, read a PDF. I got other books that got to be read way before that. And I read probably, several hundred pages a day. Let's just call it that. It's probably more.
Uh-huh.
For doing research. Not even light reading either. Some of these are old, history books from the 1800s and some other research. And I ain't pounding through this stuff. But, there's a lot that I do every day that most people would, lose their mind and say, nope, I don't want any part of that. Nope. I don't go look at the old burger joint. It's a lot easier. That's one of the things. My workload's 20 hours a day. If I actually get to sleep 4 hours a day, it's pretty good. And it's been like this for years.
Right. You work a lot,
Yeah, you see me in an airport, I'm happy because I don't have to do anything. I can't do anything. Like when we were stuck in, what was it, Denver, Mile High?
Yeah.
We got here for the next day.
For a while.
And it was after I was already a day in Cincinnati. 2 days in the airport, got that cow. Yeah, it's kind of my vacation time, actually.
Yeah. Usually Julys are slow months. Julys and Decembers.
Well, it depends on what you're doing now. And I build a lot of stuff, so I build a lot of caseworks and cabinets and other stuff, and that work seems to come and go, But like when one thing comes and goes, something else comes in, so I'm always doing something. Like right now, I'm taking the month and building my psychic fear stuff. Getting that up and running,
Right.
Because I got to get a fair market this fall, so. And we got the couple tours, state tours. Those are going to be fun. But I got to have showcases and all kinds of stuff for those, Because everything's got to be custom made.
Right.
I think a lot of guys don't understand the value of why we would go out and not buy, some cheap Chinese showcases or something. No, same thing with mentalism, right?
Yeah.
They could buy X for $300, or they could buy this piece of crap for $30. Well, it's because it's a piece of crap.
Right.
You know? It's junk. I don't use junk. I don't want the junk around me. Because it doesn't last and it doesn't look right. I mean, my cases now are lacquered oak, right? They've been built. Tomorrow we're adding the brass hardware. Yes, brass, real brass hardware. Front locks, and then we're putting on the, then we're going to put the inserts in them, the microsuede, the foam microsuede. Bang, royal blue and oak. I mean, this is going to look good. And they all match. I mean, there's two sizes, basically. Because I like to work off the 2-foot tables. Those tables are 2 feet wide by 4, 6, 8, whatever. It doesn't really matter, as long as they're 2 feet wide. Okay, and the reason for that, and I'm going to even give you the reason for that, in a 10 by 10 booth, okay? By working off those, I pick up another, I don't know, if I worked off the 38 or the 42-inch tables, you know, I'm losing about 2 feet of space that can be used to walk around in. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
To make my customers more comfortable because it's open. It's not all congested. Like, here's 2 tables. You got to walk through this little hallway. That doesn't work. And with this new booth, we got matching fabric for not only the back surround, the complementing surround the whole booth. That's all that's got to be built by hand. The rail system for the fabric. And then the reader's room's in the back. So we get a full reader's room, a small reader's room, in the back of the booth, and the front of the room is all showcases. We're not playing around here.
Yeah.
But that's all 12 by 24 and 12 by 12 showcases. There's 6 12 by 24s and 4 or 5 12 by 12s. Now, what that allows me to do is make a completely customizable booth. So I can change the booth at will based on very few elements, you know? I can't do that with the cheap Chinese showcases. And plus, they don't hold up, and the glue's bad, and they fall apart, and the glass breaks, and you can't replace the glass half the time. Dang, you know? I take a torque bit, pop the front panel off, put new glass in, bam, I'm back in a hardware store glass. I'm back up and running. Although I may put UV glass in these in case I do an outdoor event. It helps a little bit keep the temperature off the goods, but and the fabrics don't fade as fast if you use UV glass. So I may go to UV glass. I thought about going to museum glass, but museum glass is going to cost, $50, $60 a foot. And it requires a little bit more maintenance, so I don't think I'm going to use it for the showcases. Although I could, I do actually have access to it. You ever seen museum glass?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's UV resistant, got a couple of light factor resistance, and it doesn't look like there's any glass in front of the showcase. It looked invisible.
Oh,
really, there's no like light reflection off it. You know what I'm saying? It's just real. You put something behind it, it's real clear behind it. It looks like you're just looking at the piece. There was a piece in a box we were doing the other day for a customer. I didn't even think the glass was in the case. I was like, "What's the glass in this?" He's like, "Yeah, museum." Okay. You don't even see it. It's that cool, but it's expensive,
Yeah.
But this is the thing, though. When you're before the public, okay, using the cheap junk isn't going to work, man. One, it doesn't behave the same way. As the real deals usually do. And that's some of the time the knockoffs are just made from pictures and aren't really working or functional. They don't know all the secrets to them. They just made it look like it. And then guys get them and they wonder why it doesn't work. Well, that's because the knockoff did. You'd have bought the real one for $1,000, it'd probably work and have a guarantee with it.
Right. Well, I mean, you bring up a good point because the thing of the matter is that it's really important to give your customers quality products. So, yeah, they're going to pay a little bit more, but you know what? It's going to last them a long time.
Well, not only your customers, but your, if you're performing a show. If you use quality stuff, it lasts longer.
Yeah, and they're going to be happy with their purchase.
Yeah, it looks better. You look better. Well, let's face it, you look better.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of this, especially, I don't know how much it's true in magic. I mean, I know some of the props in magic. I've seen some of the knockoffs. I've seen the real deal, by the real deal. That's what I would recommend. But in mentalism, there's certain gaffs out there, we call them gaffs, that have to be the correct gaff, made by the right people. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Like, example, Little Jimmy's prop shop. Right?
Right.
His little 2 dogs, Mayan birds, and ancient birds, and scarabs, and skulls, and the whole product line there, right? Food Dog's the newest one he put out. Looks really cool. Little tiny carved food dog. The guy's got incredible carving skills. And these are carved stone. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Carved stone. These are not 3D printed plastic pieces of shit like they sell over in Europe. These are carved stone. For less money. Hand carved stone versus 3D printed plastic. Hand carved stone is actually less money.
Right.
But no, you don't want that. You want the plastic piece of crap. Why? Why? Because I've seen the difference in the two. And, I mean, well, they're okay. The plastic ones are okay. They're not going to, like the ancient bird, I used that in a gig a couple weeks ago. It's an ancient bird, man.
Right.
And I used it in the act. It was beautiful. And I used it as an ancient bird because it passed.
Yeah.
If I found this out in the woods, I would think this is an ancient bird. I'm good. It looks pretty realistic. I had to touch paint up a couple times, but, it's paint, stone, and occasionally needs a little rub because it gets rubbed together with stuff. But that's okay. That's what we got the Sharpie for. But generally, you wouldn't even see that. You know what I'm saying? I noticed it because I'm kind of anal retentive about how my props are.
Right.
But a lot of guys would have never noticed what I noticed because it's quality. Or you can go by the plastic version, or you can go by the even cheaper plastic version out of China. That thing ain't worth a shit. The Chinese PK stuff is terrible. Terrible. Okay? Now, when Jimmy was on the Psicast and he's talking about moving a skull through 2 inches of table.
Yeah.
Yep, did it.
Nice.
Did it. Yeah, that's how good his magnets are. And the magnet I had on me was not very good. It was just a cheap ceramic magnet. So that tells you everything you need to know. $25 gets you some quality.
Right.
And it's really worth it. I mean, they're really nicely. Each piece is individually hand carved. They all do look somewhat similar. You know what I'm saying? When you look at 2 pieces side by side, they're all going to look fairly similar. But they'll have, that hand carved differences, so they won't be identical. And that's good stuff. But you have to, at some point, decide if you're going to do this thing. Do you want the real deal, or do you want almost the real deal?
Big difference.
Yeah. Like, I just bought a copy of Secret Medium's Private Guide from Nelson Enterprises. All right?
Mm-hmm.
The name on this copy is Dr. Cordon Romain. Bob's alias. This is the Dr. Romain copy. This isn't this is 1953. This isn't the one that says Bob Nelson on it. This is the first edition. And yes, I think there are differences. I'm trying to look at my other copy that I had from Nelson Enterprises that, said Bob Nelson on it. You know what I'm saying? As the author instead of Dr. Romaine. Because I'm already seeing things I didn't notice in the other one. So it tells you everything I didn't know. Because he pulled out small subtleties. And this was stuff that was 1953. We're talking like 70 years ago, right? 75 years ago almost. That was relevant at the time, probably not relevant in a later republished edition at that time, you know what I'm saying? But guess what? It's relative again.
Right.
Yeah. So, a lot of times you got to buy the right stuff to get the right information. And I know a lot of guys are buying a lot of PDFs of the early books, right? That's cool, but some of those PDFs, I'm not going to tell you which ones, but I'm going to tell you some of them left stuff out of the PDF. And two examples, I can think there's a missing illustration. It's just one illustration, but it's a missing illustration. Happens to be a fairly important illustration if you're trying to do that particular fact, but, The other one, there's actually pages, there's sections of pages that were removed. Yeah, get you some of that. Like mind reach all over again. So, you got to be careful with the way you're buying it, too. Not that there's anything wrong with PDF, PDF, but in my opinion, PDF is good when you're looking at newer works. Right? Because that is usually the proper edition of the work coming straight from the creator. Just because of rapid transit and all this stuff. Everybody wants it now. But in the older works, especially when you get back to some of these works are 1890s, 1910, 1920, I am seeing over and over again, because I got digital copies of both works, you know what I'm saying, the physical copy and the PDF copy. Because the PDF copy would have an advantage because I could scan through it quicker than turning brittle pages. Right, or having to humidify the book before I can even open it. Which on some old books that is actually necessary. You actually have to. I'll give you the process. You take a tray. You take something to sit the tray up inside it. Sit like a screen, a metal screen that keeps it off the ground. Pour it in water, right? Or hot water, even, it doesn't really matter. Doesn't have to be too hot, just warm enough to, get some moisture and humidity going. And then put the book in on the screen where it's dry, and then sit the lid on the case. Keep it closed. So it just humidifies. It'll make the, like old letters, it'll make them, you can actually open them without them breaking. Because paper dries out, After some point, paper will dry out. So, you humidify it to let it open back up. That's a conservator's technique. Yeah, I had to learn some conservation. But on some of the old books, especially like the 1880s Weedman publications that are the pulp books, the real acidic brown pulpy paper, if you don't humidify those will crumble in your hands half the time. Now, once you humidify it, it'll open up and be able to be read pretty normally for at least a while. Because they dry out. Paper actually needs a certain level of humidity. Not a lot, but a certain amount of humidity to, function without cracking, breaking, and tearing, and becoming brittle. Usually about 4 to 6 hours in the humidification tanks is plenty. To be able to carefully open it up and, read it without destroying it. Kind of useful information if you're looking at old books, Didn't crack your tree calf binding. God, that sucked. God, that sucked. I cracked open one and it broke the bind on it. Not real happy about that. Book was written in 1840. Tree calf binding is like you take a slice of a tree, and that's what the paper looks like on the book. Really, really cool, you know? It's actually leather, but it's a type of leather finishing. But it does crack over time. When I saw it crack, I was pissed. Should have known better, you know? Set of Holmes. Really rare, good set of Holmes, too. But, you know, what are you going to do? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Beautiful, beautiful binding, though. But there's the thing, though. You're going to get what you pay for. Like here, is it Pro Mystic, right?
Uh-huh.
There's a bunch of knockoffs of Pro Mystic stuff. It's not the same. Not even close.
Yeah.
And you get into like some lot of electronic stuff. Yeah, good luck with your knockoff. I saw some stuff here recently where they were just built wrong, man. Well, you're familiar with the Dean's box, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they had Dean's boxes there. And then they had a couple that were built by the guys that actually, that was the original Dean box, but they built another one for some reason. Painted it all stupid colors and stuff. Man, the thing did not look right at all. You know, because Dean had a craftsman quality to him that he could make stuff, nice stuff. The other one was not so nice.
Uh-huh.
And the other knockoffs I've seen of the Dean box, you know, don't look that good. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're not built right. I mean, they're built bad. The boxes are whacked or crooked. I'm not gonna put that on stage in front of somebody.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like, you know, they come up with these knockoffs off the originals, and then from what I hear, people who, you know, bought the knockoffs accidentally because they thought it was the real deal, and they said it didn't last past 2 weeks, and even during those 2 weeks, it wasn't working right.
That's why you don't buy knockoffs.
So you really get what you pay for.
Yeah, and you know, the easiest way to get what you pay for is you go to like a reputable dealer like Stevens Magic Emporium, Denny Lee in Baltimore, right?
Uh-huh.
Stevens is in Kansas, and, you know, or one of the many other magic shops, but I tend to prefer those two. Las Vegas Pro out in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And go get some vetted stuff.
Yeah.
You'll get some quality magic. I mean, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, get some quality.
Yeah, it costs a little more than a knockoff. Right?
Yeah.
But the stuff I bought from like Stevens, Las Vegas Pro, Denny, none of that stuff's ever failed me. I mean, some of the card stuff I bought is just flat wore out, but, you know, that's because I used it.
Uh-huh.
It's not because it was a bad product, it was because it was overused. It looked like it'd been through about 3 weeks worth of poker games. It was done, dude.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how the deck looks a little worn at the end of the night after about 10 or 15 hours of playing poker?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, times that by about 3 weeks. That's what these decks look like. But I can use them in other stuff. You know what I mean? I take out a few cards and use them in old age. It's all right. But they lasted.
Right.
Some of the other stuff I bought in the years past, some of it came from auctions and box lots, granted. Yeah, there were some knockoffs in there, and I think I threw a couple of them away. Matter of fact, I know I did. Here, you want this? You want this? You want this? Start throwing them to the other guy, you know. I don't even want that shit around me.
Yeah.
You know, I remember I bought one box, a little box lot of 20 pieces of selling it. Paid pretty good money for it. I wanted 3 pieces out of the whole lot. The rest of it meant nothing to me. You know, those 3 pieces in there were good. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of 5 early Larry Becker coin purses and a couple other things. I mean, it was nice that. But it was, again, you know, you see the knockoff of the Becker coin purses. God, they can't even sew, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's not leather, it's like some Naugahyde, or not even Naugahyde, some cheap vinyl, and it's just crap, dude. I'm not going to pull that crap out. You know, because it doesn't function the same way either. You know, the vinyl doesn't react like that. The leather does, you know?
Uh-huh.
Got talks, got slide tails, and all kinds of crap. Slide tails when you slide something in or slide something out, and it makes it sound like, yeah, that ain't good.
Yeah, it's one of those embarrassing moments, you know, when you accidentally fart on stage. Same thing.
Yeah, I do that all the time. I remember one show we had to take a reset. We had to take a little breaky.
Yeah,
that's my ready to drop the dish in my face. Bam! Hey, you know, show business, dude. You're on stage. You know.
Hey, it happens.
It happens. Don't eat. That's why you don't eat before gigs, man.
Exactly.
You never know what's going to bite you. Especially, you know, no chilies, no weird foods. You know, don't be experimenting before a gig on some, you know, some place you never ate at before. You know, that's never good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
If your gig's at like 8, you know, eat it like 10 a.m. or something, you know?
Uh-huh.
Then eat out, just pig out afterwards. I mean, don't do that to yourselves, folks. You're
right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not fun when that happens.
Yeah.
You know, especially, you know, you're what are you going to tell your audience? Sorry, we're going to have to take a break.
Yeah, that's exactly what you do.
You know, especially if you're,
do.
Yeah.
I got a buddy at work, this sideshow, and he thought he had a fart. He said, "Pull my finger." He pulled it, and he went. He's like, "Oh, I just shit myself." He really did. Right now, you see it running down his leg. He's like, "There you go." Yeah, don't do anything stupid. It was funny, but, you know, you don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Really bad. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that you know, we make these mistakes. We're like, I'm fine, I'll get something to eat. And, you know, then I go get a gig, and you're like, oh, God, I'm going to puke. You know, you get the bad food or something, and you're done, man. So, let's get into some other stuff. You there? Did I leave you? Robert, are you still around? Yeah, it looks like we're having technical difficulties. We lost Robert for a moment. And I'm going to keep going for a few seconds anyway. Hopefully Robert will come back. So yeah, don't buy the cheap stuff ever.
Okay,
really, yeah, there you go. You dropped out there for a minute.
Yeah, there's thunderstorms going through, so.
Yeah, I didn't know if we broke call. We've been having some technical difficulties tonight anyway. I know you were tapping on the monitor controls, which we're currently, by the way, doing this manually. So this is not a typical digital broadcast. So we don't know how this is going to sound until we get it. But yeah, don't buy the cheap knockoffs, man. They're just not worth it. You know, like the cheap knockoff coins, they're not milled right. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. They look like plastic.
Yeah, or like even the shells these days, right?
Uh-huh.
They're taking like aluminum or $Morgan knockoffs, fake coins to begin with, and then they're making a magic coin out of them. These are terrible. They have the wrong weight, the wrong feel, the wrong sound, and often are the wrong size. And you wonder why your Morgan dollar doesn't fit in your Morgan dollar shell, because your Morgan dollar shell is fake. It's the wrong size. You know, there's a fake coin to begin with. Don't do it. Get the real deal. I get a friend up here, Eric. He uses nothing but like Schoolcraft coins. Okay, phenomenal coin guy. Right? Phenomenal. His average coin set's $300 to $400. But I know he's been using a couple of them for probably over 20 years at this point or something. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Whereas Larson, I know he's been using 20 years, as Larson said. Just, you know, he bought it, and, you know, that's all he's going to use for that effect. He's going to use really high-grade stuff. He's got the skill to back it up, so why not? He just doesn't like using the junk. And he knows quite a bit of the junk, too, because he'll use some of the junk to practice with, you know, but he ain't going to take that out and use it in performance, you know? Like when he's practicing new moves and he drops them or something, he'll drop the junk. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
He is, yeah, it costs $20 instead of $300, you know? If you drop it or break it, you're not out much. And that's kind of the way he looks at it. But then when he goes to, you know, when he gets all of his movement set, his moves down and all the stuff he wants to do, where he's not going to feel he's going to risk dropping a coin, he just goes ahead and uses real stuff, you know? Starts practicing that. Because, you know, when you're doing some of that early coin magic, you're going to drop a lot. You know what I mean? And the old school way of palming a coin was, you know, palm the coin, stick hand out window.
Yeah.
For the left-hand palm. If you didn't drop it, you're good to go. And that was all silver dollars, you know. Plus, it actually helped, you know, and do some, like, you know, finger to thumb palm and stuff like that out a window. Driving down the road at 60 miles an hour. You lose it. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Because you ain't going to find it again. Yeah, I know. Like, oops, that's gone. You get to play dodge traffic. Trying to get your coin back is all damaged, smashed up. Yeah, it's bad. But, you know, when you change up and you start getting into props, you know, or just general props, buy good quality props. Like when you get into the more French stuff, you start looking at like artifacts, seance-driven artifacts, the metaphysical stuff. You want the right stuff. You know, the right stuff doesn't necessarily cost a lot. You know, you can get the right stuff or versions of the right stuff for very, very little, but then there's other pieces that are, you know, bring $3,000 to $5,000.
Exactly.
Because that's what it costs.
Yeah.
Like two of the strongest pieces of my act right now, well, I only have a couple strong pieces in the act right now, but they're in that price range. You know, they are flat expensive, and they're also rare. They're not expensive because there's, you know, somebody wanted a lot of money. They're expensive because they're rare and they're hard to get. I mean, hard to get. You know, like my Neurophone. I haven't seen another one from that period. one of like 7 to 12 ever made. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous how low mintage that thing was, you know? From 1982, but it's got the look I need, though, you know?
Yeah.
That thing works great. It does everything I need it to do. Which is actually very little, but it does everything I need to do. I even used it once and didn't even have the batteries in it. And it still worked. Get you some of that.
Yeah.
Because it looks right. You know, when you get into props and prop design and set design and a little bit more of the theatric stuff, or even back at RM sales, for example, there's nothing that's going to beat a quality showcase for back at RM. Doesn't have to be big, you know. A little 12 by 12 can hold a lot of stuff. It's only, you know, about 1.5 inches of space inside it, you know. That's all you need, really. You know. You don't need a lot. But what you do need is the right stuff. Now, the problem is, here's the biggest problem of all magic and minimalism. They want it all. They want to own it all. They want to collect it all. They want to buy it all. They want to learn all the secrets. They want to learn it all. There's a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Instead of buying, you know, what actually you're going to use, plus or minus, you know, 50%.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, but even like us, we got our own gigs and our own shows, but we got, you know, another 50% of stuff what we're not using. Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, it's rare and it's cool. If I want to use it, I'll use it, but I'm not going to use it anytime soon unless I figure out a way, you know, means to use it, a reason to use it. But that's the thing. You know, we end up, at some point, you end up buying a lot of stuff. And then at another point, later on, you start picking out stuff you use, and then you go, okay, I know it's kind of rare, but I want 3 of these. There's 12 made. You know, the 12 made, I actually have like 4 of one item. Not that I want to sell it. Those are my show. That's part of my act. You know?
Right.
I got backups for backups. And I got a backup for that. And if I find the other, you know, 8, I'll buy those too. And those are basically on the wall. But, you know, that's the way it's got to be, though. You know what I mean? Because once you own them all, and I do actually own all of one particular fact that were made. It wasn't made, but I own it. You won't find it. You won't find it. You won't get your hands onto it. Not going to happen.
Oh.
One, nobody knows how to make them anymore because they don't have a pattern to knock off either. So, you know, I got them and they're mine. And there was a couple other rare pieces that I had that I was pretty sure I had them all, you know. According to the records I was reading, I had them all. I think there was 15 units made. I own them all. And I think now there's down to like 3 left. Because I burned the other 12.
Uh-huh.
Because they ain't getting a hold of it and they ain't going to knock it off.
Right.
You know, I got a couple saved back for some hardcore collectors, and I got mine. That's it, dude. They're not going to get hold of it. It's not going to exist. Well, there's no photographs of this thing on the market, and nobody really knows what they're looking at anyway, you know? Nor would they care. You know what I'm saying? I might as well just claim it and make it mine.
Right.
For my use only. But, you know, you don't think I burn magic? Yeah, wrong. You see the stack of stuff that goes out here right into a fire pit. Dude, some of it was rare. You know what I'm saying? I remember I offered some of it for sale for like $10, $12. Nobody was interested. I burned it. Now there's like 20 people looking for one. Guess what? You ain't gonna find them now, buddy. Screw you. I mean, that's the way it's got to be. We got to go back to that, you know? We got to make sure not everything gets passed on. Not everything is available on the market at all times, you know? Because there's two types of people in those in mentalism. Those that want it because they, you know, whatever, they want to touch it or something. I don't know, play with it. And those that actually use it, right?
Yeah.
Now the only difference, that's in physical products. Now the only difference is information. Now information, books, early videotapes, films, 8mm films, 16mm films. 16mm film. Yeah, I have a projector. Or I have access to a projector. I can watch the thing. I can watch the old 8mm films that were made. Early magic stuff. By the way, even though it's a 10-minute film, it's got some really cool stuff in it. You know, and everybody's like, well, streams are at the digital. What, to share it with your dumb ass? No. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Why should we take that level of a secret or that kind of an effect, it's a McCoy effect, and remarket it to a bunch of people and go, well, that kind of sucks. I don't get it, man. It's kind of dumb. I'm looking at it going, that's freaking amazing. Did you see what he did? You know what I'm saying? Did you see how simple that was?
Yeah, that's easy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but it was done so elegantly, you didn't see the move. I'll tell you what it looks like. I'm not going to tell you who it is. I'm going to tell you what it looks like. His hand's open. They place a coin in his hand. All right? He closes his hand, his palms face up. He closes his hand around the coin. Okay? Fingers are up. Closes it over the coin. Blows on it, opens it back up. The coin's gone. The hand did not freaking move. Or it didn't look like it moved. You know what I'm saying? Done. But, you know, I mean, I've seen, I've talked to a few other people about it, and one of them was like, oh, this is kind of dumb, man. I don't like that method. You know, you got to do it like this, do all this extra bullshit. Dumb. Perfectly clean. Hokey-ass method, actually. You know what I'm saying? The method was so hokey, it was actually kind of funny that he actually pulled it off, because you don't see it, you know? It's a gimmick, but you don't even see it. It's beautiful, but this is the thing, they don't appreciate that, you know? So why us older guys? Why are we giving this stuff to them?
Yeah. I don't even know why.
Why? I mean, why are we sharing any of this? And other than the fact that, you know, I know some of you are like me that are just archiving your knowledge. For the guy that's coming in like 50 years or so. You know, a lot of us are recording our knowledge just for that guy. That's why I got 300 and some hours of 350, 400 hours of audio. You know, because one day somebody will discover it and be like, that's what I've been looking for. Yeah, there it is. But most of the people aren't going to understand what we're talking about. You know?
Right.
That's sad because it's actually pure mentalism in a way. But they don't understand the concepts. They don't understand the foundations. Because they don't understand mentalism. You know, they think mentalism is still a magic trick or something. And even Nelson said, you know, the two are very different. And then he went on to explain why they're very different. And that's really an education right there. But most people never understood that. And that was in 45, 46.
Uh-huh.
You know, almost a very long time ago. Oh, wow. Oh. Smashed the head. I was throwing something away and inside the trash can is one of those plastic lawn Jesus is sitting down.
Uh-huh.
But he's got a smashed head. You know, the ones that light up from the 70s?
Oh, gosh, yes.
Yeah. This one's like, what is this? Oh, no, this one might be 68. Yeah, it looks like 1968. But the head's all smashed in. I was like, bummer. If it wasn't smashed in, I'd jump and grab it, you know? Put that up on the roof.
Yeah.
With a big plastic Jesus on the roof. Hide in the back so nobody actually sees it while it's right at a distance. We're like, what the hell is that? Screw it, Bill Leonard.
Yeah.
But a lot of this stuff, you know, and it should be kept under lock and key.
Right.
And I know there's a few pieces that are still that way, in a sense, you know, kind of under the lock and key. You know, that you can't find or get a hold of. But for the most part, man, they're making it way too available. I mean, mentalism worked for years being kind of reclusive, actually. You know?
Uh-huh.
I mean, it wasn't until the last, 5 to 10 years, well, the last 5 years anyway, that it was easy to get into mentalism, you know? A lot of information was out there. 20 years ago, man, you couldn't find crap. Unless you went hardcore doing some digging. You see what I'm getting at?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you had to hunt it down.
Right.
And then you had to know another guy that was even of the older generation to be able to point the way going, no, you want that stuff over there. No, you don't want that. You want this. Ned Rutledge.
It was really, yeah, it was really
Orville Mayer. You know, you want those guys. You don't want this. These new kids ain't worth shit. Yet, anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then there was conversations that were going down in, 83, 84, 85. I'm like, yeah, they're showing promise, but they ain't quite there yet. You know? They've only been on the scene like 7 or 8 years. And that was Mason talking about guys like Bob Cassidy. He said, he's worth watching, obviously. He's worth keeping an eye on, but, he's not quite there yet.
Right.
Well, because, at that point, Mason been performing for 30 or 40 years, so there's a difference. But then you looked at like Bob Cassidy, 20, 30 years later, and hell yeah, he's worth watching. You know what I'm saying? But back then, they were looking at it like, he's got potential, like you got potential, is what they tell me. You got potential. I got that a couple times. Usually when I got bitter against the IBM and said, this is a bunch of bullshit, Bob. And they're like, yep, you're getting potential. Because the more bitter you got, the more he seemed to like you. So, I don't know. It's odd. But, there's I'm talking about Mason, by the way, not Cassidy.
Yeah.
In case you get the Bob's confused. But I really liked Bob's early work, from 77. And that first little piece he put out, and the second little piece he put out, the original brochure pamphlets of Artful Mentalism. Great stuff in there. Like 3 effects. Beautiful effects. But in a way, that's kind of what you're looking for. You're not necessarily looking for length or anything. You know, you're looking for this is real obscure quality to your stuff. That you give personality to. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You're the one that gives the personality to the effect. The effect's not giving the personality to you.
Exactly.
You have to give your personality to the effect. That's why mental analysis stuff works really well for me, you know? And I can teach a lot of it, metaphysical work. But a lot of guys don't understand the root core concepts, you know? And I still can't. I'm still trying to explain some of that. Yeah, I think it's important, but, I mean, I can explain the methods, and I can explain how to do these miraculous things that nobody really will ever catch on to as being fake. But yet they're 100% fake. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it doesn't look that way. It looks completely the opposite. It looks real to me. I think he's doing something there. I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing something. Because they have no physical explanation for it. But that's what most of my work is. That's why there's a bunch of new principles there, too. Bunch of new principles. I think on every program I got something that relates to a new principle. It's really pretty wild. You know, some of them are subtleties for the new principles. Some of them are straight-up new principles. But it's a different animal, you know? Also, a completely different style of performing. I mean, you begin to use some of the stuff.
Oh, well, absolutely.
And you're using a lot of the subtleties in your stuff.
Yeah, and they're crazy.
Mix them in.
They're crazy. I mean, it's a lot of the stuff that I picked up on, you know, from you and everything is just like it just really took my performance, you know, 100 notches up.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like you've done anything.
Right. I'm still me.
It's still all you. But when you actually start employing the psychological principles I'm teaching you, it makes everything much stronger. But a lot of guys will look at that and go, I don't get it. Well, that's what we mean by advanced, dude. And we're also talking about belief manipulation. But that's not what you think it is either. You know, firing up mind control devices. That's not what you think it is either. But yes, we do that. Because we can. Because that shit works.
Right. Because it does work. Yeah, exactly.
It does work, yeah. And a lot of it works really well. Really well.
Oh, very
really
well.
Expensive, too. But, you know, some of the stuff is quite expensive. Some of it's quite cheap. But, you know, it's just how do you want to play it, you know?
If
you're using a disclaimer, there's no help for you.
Yeah.
You already ruined your entire show in the first 10 minutes. Or the first 30 seconds in most cases. You know? Disclaimer idea.
Oh, God.
Which was a scam to screw you up. That's what it was. I'll call it scam.
Right.
The whole idea of using the disclaimer minimalism was a scam to fuck you up.
Yeah.
We'll put that on the official record. So you would lose money in venues. That's why they did it. That's why they convinced you that, you know, that was unethical and all this other stuff. Right?
Right.
So you would lose venues so they could go in there and play with the sponge bunnies. Scam.
Yeah.
And you fell for it. Quit being a sucker.
Yeah. I mean, every time when you go to see a movie, do they have disclaimers that, oh, what you're about to see is not real, they're not real people, and everything?
No, they usually say fictitious at the end of it. They won't blow it for you in the beginning of it.
Well, yeah, that's for legal reasons, but, you know, I mean, honestly, I mean, imagine if every movie started off that way. Doesn't that kind of, like, wouldn't it take the fun of, like, you'd be like, okay, you know, and it just ruins it. I mean, that's the same.
And I kind of wish some of the documentaries would start off like that.
Yeah.
You know, this is based on this book, which was complete horseshit.
Mm-hmm.
It was studied in public schools. Tell you what you get there. Full of lies and deceptions and agendas. But you wouldn't know that because, you know, you've been mind controlled and brainwashed to believe that crap.
Yeah.
Or as one guy put it, fooked. 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 By the Fuchs Society, as he puts it. But he doesn't even mention names. You know, how credible is he?
Right.
And the other guys that actually mention the real names of the players involved, and they're like, yeah, that's good research. But it's interesting to me the way the mentalism seems to be split on that particular issue still, you know?
Uh-huh.
Disclaimer, no disclaimer. Well, the disclaimer was created as a scam to screw you.
Mm-hmm.
So you're a mentalist, but you're buying into the disclaimer and you're telling them you're a psychological illusionist. Nobody's going to believe that shit.
Exactly.
Man, I hear that crap and I'm thinking, great. This is going to be some bullshit.
Yeah, totally unnecessary.
It's unnecessary. You're on a theater stage. Right?
Right.
You're working a platform. You're working in front of people. It's a show. It's half entertainment and half usable knowledge. I mean, you just don't know which half's which. But I don't get it, man. I still don't get the disclaimer idea. I mean, what's that really serving? Let's break that down for a moment. So I come out and I tell my audience this is all fake, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I start to show off, telling them what to think. Being a rude little bastard in that area, by the way. And then I tell them some other crap, right? And then I spend the next 2 hours trying to convince them it's real. Why do I want to make my audience look like an idiot?
Yeah. Good point. Good point.
Because I'm presuming my audience is an idiot. Or my audience is idiots. All of them. Now, granted, there's been audiences I've had that would fall into that category.
Uh-huh.
Category of drunken idiots. But why? Why can't I just come out? I'm not harming people, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the closest I may get to physical harm is letting you believe whatever you want to believe. Now, whether that's harmful or not could be disputed, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't get the whole disclaimer thing.
That just, yeah, doesn't make sense.
You know, I saw one act long time ago. Kid walked out and said, I'm going to lie. I'm going to cheat. They're probably going to take your money out of your wallet and you're not even going to know it. Let's proceed. That was the show. He's going to lie, cheat, and steal. And he told you up front what he's going to do. It was your job to catch it.
Uh-huh.
You know, I think he said also I'll donate the money to charity if I steal too much. But you would see him periodically just like putting 20 in his pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The other person on stage doesn't see nothing. You know, they're making contributions to a charity. Probably him, but, you know, whatever. It's damn fine entertainment, too, man. Because I don't even know some of the methods he was using. I mean, they were sick. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But his job, I mean, he just was very blunt about it. He wasn't even making it up, man. He was just throwing it out there and going, this is the way it's going to be. And I think he said, if you bust me, you know what's in that envelope over there. That was the headline prediction.
Oh, wow.
They got nothing. You know what I'm saying? But he was just it was almost a con show. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm going to con you. Because he set out very clear precedent goals as to what he wanted to do. I kind of like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like,
because when I go in to do some mentalism or mind reading or belief manipulation or whatever, I know what I'm doing when I walk in the door. You know, I know what I've been asked to do while I'm there. Right?
Uh-huh.
Look, somebody hires psychic entertainment. Do you think they want to see some sponge bunnies?
No.
Do they want to see the mind-reading bunny rabbit? No, maybe. But they don't want to see the other crap. It's not what you're getting paid to do. And most people are smart enough to figure out, was that real? Or at least, you know, make them question that it was real. And I think that's a great point to be at, too. You know, why use a disclaimer when you can craft your entire show to have the audience ask one question? Was that real? Or was it fake? Even with that sense of doubt, it's very much stronger than going out and ruining the show with a disclaimer.
Yeah.
Some people may believe it was real. Some people may believe it was fake. Some people may have the experience. You couldn't change your mind if you tried. Been to some of my acts. You know, I don't even know. You know, I don't even know what I did. If I did anything, they just believed it. Which is, you know, that's because some of it's real and some of it's fake. You just don't know what the difference is. Uh-huh. That's a good point to be, too, you know. But I think a lot of people bought into this whole, oh, mediumship's bad. It's terrible.
No.
Huh? What are you talking? You don't even know what you're talking about. Have you ever studied mediumship?
Probably not.
$7.5 billion business and growing. Magic, around $500 million combined. With the top performers earning most of that money. What do you think? Not even 10% of what that market is. Now, granted, China's taking a lot of that money from, you know, fake stones and fake crystals and all that, but it's still a big market, man. And in there, you know, the only difference between a mentalist and a psychic worker. Okay, the mentalist says, well, I got to give you this disclaimer and let you know it's all fake, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what the psychic worker says? For entertainment purposes only. He's actually more honest than a fucking mentalist. Hey. Get you some of that. The psychic's disclaimer will say for entertainment only. Isn't that odd? Go ahead and talk for a second. I'm walking in the building.
Oh, okay.
Before they close.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, so the thing is that, you know, like psychic entertainers, you know, I mean, the way I like to say, I've mentioned this many times previously, is I make none whatsoever. when I'm on stage performing. I don't make disclaimers.
Useless.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, if I got people in the audience that are naturally skeptic, then I didn't say anything to offend them. But if I have people in my audience that are true believers, I haven't upset them either. So this way, I got the whole audience by my side. You know, and that's the thing. I cringe every time I see a performance. I cringe when I hear performers say, "Oh, what you're about to see is like, you know, I utilized my five known senses to create the illusion of a six."
Yeah, and then a psychic comes out and says everything is for entertainment only, and he goes and does some amazing psychic stuff.
Mhm.
You know, that's on a lot of the business cards, for entertainment purposes only. It's a legal disclaimer, actually, but they say it's for entertainment.
Uh-huh.
Who's more honest here? Psychic. So why can't a mentalist walk out and say, I'm going to do some psychic stuff for entertainment?
Right.
That's perfectly honest to me. Actually, it's a little bit more honest, you know, or like on the show poster. For entertainment only. For entertainment purposes only. The world's renowned psychic.
Right.
It's for entertainment only. It's on the poster. He's there to entertain you with his psychic prowess. That makes much more sense. I'm sorry, you know, mentalists, but the psychic performer or the true psychic guy actually makes more sense than most of your mentalist claims. Some of his door, you know, tarot readings are for entertainment only. Right up front. And you're saying this guy's a charlatan. This guy's a scammer. No, he's not. He's an entertainer, man.
He's an entertainer.
It's called entertainment. The only difference is he's honest about what he's doing. He's entertaining you.
Yeah.
No results are given or guaranteed for entertainment only. Bam.
Yeah. You know that kind of reminds me of the movie that I saw one time with Nicolas Cage, and it was in the movie Next.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He was a guy with real, genuine powers, and yet he was doing a mentalism show in Vegas. He was doing a show, but he didn't say, "Oh, what I'm doing is real," or he didn't say, "Oh, what I'm doing is fake." He didn't say none of that.
It's called entertainment.
Exactly.
But the psychics, you look at a lot of psychics, and you go to the psychic parlors. The mental and physical shops, all curious are for entertainment purposes only. Right? Posted on a damn door. You go inside, they got stuff for black magic, they got stuff that does this, they got stuff that does that, stuff that's used for this, stuff that's used for that. But it's all umbrellaed under for entertainment. Whether it's real or not doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Right? Doesn't matter at all. I mean, going up and yelling at, you know, they running into a psychic parlor like we know some people that do, yelling, "You're a fake, you're a fraud." Read the sign on the door, jerk off. I'm an entertainer. It's called private entertainment. And that actually goes back to like the 1700s, right? My man Fawkes, you know Fawkes?
Yeah.
He used to do those private shows for cash. With his egg bag. You know, audience of 2 or 3, 1, 2 or 3, you know? Tiny audiences for cash.
Yeah, see?
Called entertainment.
Precisely.
But you look at all the psychic disclaimers. I'm talking about the remote viewers, the psychics, the tarot readers, the palm readers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, for entertainment purposes only.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only time that actually varies is when you're in a religious community of, say, spiritualists. Even some of the spiritualist communities there will say readings are for entertainment purposes only, the rest of it's real. Because it's based in religion, right?
Uh-huh.
But occasionally you will hear, there'll be a signpost somewhere for entertainment purposes only or something. And there's some kind of real subtle, usually much smaller than the other signs, but it's usually around there somewhere. We're all curious, holding the gift shop for entertainment purposes only. That's very common to see. But within a religious order, they're perfectly allowed to speak to the dead. Okay? That's not entertainment. That's part of the religious services. So there is a difference, right? But your general tarot reader working on a corner office or whatever does it for entertainment. He's selling entertainment novelties, entertainment services. It's entertainment. They just happen to be really good at a specialized form of entertainment. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is not what you're about to see is fake. What you're about to see is entertaining. That's a much better form of a disclaimer.
Yeah.
I am here to entertain you with my psychic powers. Fine. Entertain away. We better have a few laughs in here. I just really don't get it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because the psychics, like I said, look it up. Go to the psychic parlor. Look at the sign. For entertainment purposes only, it will be somewhere near the front door usually. Or the cash register where they collect the money. It will be one of the two places. But then, a mentalist has got to go out there and now the modern mentalist said, let's go out and say it's all bullshit. No. Why can't we go back to being entertainers, people? Okay, I'm going to end this for you. Because I can go on for this subject for days.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
No, I think we're done.
Okay, cool. All right, so that's going to end this portion of Psicast this week. And
we'll see you again in 2 weeks. Hopefully we'll be back on schedule. So
yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks, and then we'll get things rolling again. So until then, we will see you guys later.